Hi everyone, it's Dan Rheault from Maritime Geothermal, makers of Nordic heat pumps, and today we're going to take an in-depth look at the Nordic Commercial R Series unit. So we've manufactured water-to-air heat pumps since our inception in 1983. That is water source heat pumps that take heat from a ground or a building loop and deliver hot or chilled air through a ducted air system. These have been heat pumps intended for the residential market, generally for installation in houses. So the unit size being 2 to 6 nominal tons refrigeration, or more commonly 3 to 6 tons in size. These residential units also tend to have the best premium sort of features, since they're often part of a geothermal system where the heat pump by itself might be a relatively small part of the investment. What I'm going to show you today is a newer series of water-to-air heat pumps. Although they will work for any type of location, these are aimed at the more cost-sensitive commercial market, so have cost-saving features that differ from the residential R Series. These are currently available in 3/4, 1, 1.5, and 2 ton sizes. So that's our sizes 09, 12, 18, and 24. And this line overlaps with the residential series in the 2 ton size. So it's R24 versus a residential R25. Of course, all the units are available in left and right return configurations from the factory. So I can show you some CAD. My job, of course, is to model these machines in 3D CAD, and I can rotate the unit around to show you what it looks like from several different angles. I can also remove doors to show you the components which are inside. So we can start by looking at the compressor, which is right here. Rather than a 2-stage scroll compressor from Copeland, these units use rotary compressors from LG. And yes, that's the same company that makes smartphones and TVs and so on. These compressors are cost-effective and they're available in small sizes, but are single stage. So the small efficiency advantage you get when running on stage 1 isn't present on these units. Like in our other heat pump series, the compressor is mounted with double grommet isolation on a plate, so that's a very good noise control measure, and an optional sound jacket is also available for very noise sensitive applications. These compressors have a built-in suction accumulator for maximum protection against liquid floodback to the compressor, which is a very good feature. Okay, the coaxial heat exchanger you can see in back here is the same type of water coil that's used on our larger residential heat pumps. And I can remove more doors to show you the air coil, which is right here. And similarly, the air coil is computer designed and custom manufactured for very good efficiency and reliability. You can also here see the blower. This is a very important component, of course, because its responsibility is to move air through the forced air system quietly and efficiently. These units use electronically commutated blower motors, commonly referred to as ECMs. So they have a significant efficiency advantage over PSC motors. But to save cost, these are 5-speed rather than constant airflow model motors, meaning the installer has to select the speed tap that delivers the right amount of air for their ductwork on their job. As you can see here also, the blower position is fixed. It blows air out the top of the unit, as opposed to the larger R's where you can convert them to side discharge in the field. If an electric plenum heater is required for backup or auxiliary heat, it must be mounted in the ductwork outside the unit because of the compact unit dimensions. Of course, plenum heaters are available from us in a wide range of sizes. And I can put the doors back on and show you more here. There's no desuperheater on these units for domestic hot water, since it's a feature not commercially required and space is at a premium. As you can see here, there's no extra water connections. We just have our ground loop or water loop connections here. The cabinet is very small compared to our larger R series. The footprint is 19 by 19 inches compared to the already small 24 by 28 of the larger R Series. And the height is reduced from 60 inches to 42 inches. The unit is designed for front access only, so there's no need to access the sides of the unit. This means it's easy to install in closets where you can't have any side access, very restricted installation locations. And this is a common requirement in multi-unit, say residential apartment buildings, that sort of thing. The cabinet itself is made of galvanized sheet metal. Only the cabinet doors are powder coated, but with this, along with careful workmanship and thoughtful design, gives these units the highest end appearance on the commercial market, in my opinion. These units look very good when set next to competing units for the commercial market, say at a trade show or something. The line components will seem very familiar to those who work with heat pumps. We have a balanced port externally equalized TXV to control superheat regardless of the operating conditions. We have a reversing valve to provide heating and cooling. We have a sight glass for moisture detection and refrigerant charge indication. We've got a filter dryer for moisture and particle removal. And we have easily accessible high and low refrigerant access service ports on the unit as well. The electrical box is accessible from the front, as I mentioned, and it's at a convenient intermediate height instead of at floor level, so a pleasure to service. The air filter, which I can show you here, is a pleated style air filter as opposed to a fiberglass air filter, and it's 1 inch thick rather than 2 inches on the residential series, due to, of course, the smaller unit size and reduced airflow on these units. Okay, so I've mentioned several differences between these commercial R units and the residential ones, and these can be summarized in a chart, so you can easily see the difference between them. The compressor, as I mentioned, is an LG rotary rather than a Copeland scroll. There's one stage of compressor operation. We have a 5-speed ECM instead of a constant airflow ECM. The unit is, of course, reversing in all cases for heating and cooling. We don't have a desuperheater for domestic hot water on the commercial series. The cabinet is partially powder coated, the doors. If you need a plenum heater, it must be mounted externally rather than inside the unit, like on the residential series. The footprint has been reduced from 28 by 24 to 19 by 19, and the height has been reduced from 60 or 62 inches to 42 inches. For a further comparison of efficiency and price, I'm going to compare the 2-ton model, so the commercial R24 versus the residential R25. The heating COP, so that's the standard heating capacity for a ground loop, which is a condition, an AHRI condition for comparing different manufacturers' heat pumps. You can see here the COP is a little bit lower, 3.5 instead of the 3.7 or 4.3 on the for the 2 stages of operation of the larger unit. And the EER is also a little bit lower, but still quite attractive. But the good feature here is that the cost savings that we've implemented on the R24 results in about a 40% lower price. So that'll make it very attractive for multiple unit buildings where you have to buy a lot of these units to put in one project, or even for a cost-conscious homeowner looking to heat or cool a smaller space, up to 2 tons in capacity. So to conclude, I think the Nordic Commercial R Series water-to-air heat pump is probably your best choice for multi-unit projects or smaller residential spaces. Thanks for taking this tour with me. If you want to know more about our R Series heat pump or any of our other products, you can visit our website at nordicghp.com, connect with us on Twitter at NordicGHP, or on Facebook at Nordic Heat Pumps. Thank you for listening.